Hi everyone, I'm Ferdinand the Carpet Stacker and welcome to my review of Windward. When things come to airships here, I love airships, and this is an airship game where you're hunting whales. Unfortunately, I like whales, but I think the whaling, his history of whaling is also interesting though. Anyway, but let's go ahead and take a deeper dive into this game and see what I thought about it.
And before we move on, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on that bell notification button to stay up to date with our videos. Windward is a tactical hunting game where you control an airship and its task of hunting flying whales known as cresters to fuel the world and gain notoriety, the victory points of the game. Each round of the game, the wind die is rolled and the flag is turned to a direction. The wind blows in a direction, so all movement that way is free. On a turn, the player uses one of their mates to use as an action while in the sky. Mainly, players will move and try to take down a crester. They launch their longboats and attack one of the great cresters, which are only reachable this way. If they manage to defeat it in a dice battle, they have to haul it back to the ship where it can be processed and turned for fuel and return it to the trading post for points. There are also these giant red cresters, which are huge and can only be attacked by your ship. Of course they're worth more points, but they have an aggressive nature and will try to ram you. The nearest one always going after you each turn. And spend gas to hire crew, supplies, and extra cannons to easily hunt more cresters. Players may battle each other to take away their efforts. You must always keep track of your supplies, or you might lose morale and might have to face mutiny. Once a player reaches 15 or more points, the game ends triggered and the round is completed. The player with the highest points wins the game. Including the game is also this legendary white crester, a formidable whale that's worth a ton of points, and a variant ship that tags cresters instead of hunting them.
Alright, so into the review, and let's begin with presentation. The presentation is from okay to good. I'm a sucker for airships, or anything that is airships. I like airships, steampunk, dieselpunk, or whatever. Or I guess this is pre-era, this fantasy world. But the airship miniatures, they're okay. I wish they can be a bit more detailed. The whales, the cresters in the game, I think they're interesting looking. I think they're done very well. I wish there was a bit more different sculpts, because they're all the same sculpts of those of the three different types in there. But again, I think the overall sculpts of the miniatures are just going to be wearing okay. The one that I think the biggest thing about presentation in the game is going to be the rulebook. The rulebook, I dislike it very much. They don't provide a lot of visual examples. There's not even a setup of the board game in here, and that's one of the biggest things you cannot miss in a rulebook is the setup too. I wish they provide a bit more examples of the battles, about movement in there. Nice thing is that there is a bit explaining about the world in the game. The art's great. I mean, I like the art because, I'm going to say it again, airships. So it's there, but again, lacking is the overall visual aids that could really just help out the game. And it was such a struggle with our first game playing this, just looking through the rulebook. Where is this rule? If you just have some images in here, it would just help the speed of learning the game even faster. Anyway, moving on to gameplay. First of all, let's start with the positives of the game. It's a game about hunting these cresters. The cresters are kind of like these huge whales with gas filling them. It's kind of like the fuel of the world, and they go out there, and there's some luck into there. The wind changes and stuff, but you're going to go there, drop your longboats, try to fight them, bring it back as many times as possible. You want to get the best way to get them sooner as possible for anyone. So it's kind of this race of trying to get the most points in there. Something that I kind of like in there, I do like this, trying to see what you can do. Try like, hey, this is my creature, this is my crester, don't touch it. I'm gonna bring it back and get points for it. Or you're just like, haha, I'm gonna sneak into this guy's cresters and behind his back and try to get it that way. So I think that's that's fun. So the game does build up over the time as you play it. You are almost just like a skeleton crew, I would say, of the game. And then as you get the money in the game, which is the gas, you're able to get the crews, how you want to get the stuff in there. You want to get cannons, you want to get crews, you want to work on getting more movement for your longboats, getting more cannons so you can fight the bigger guys, the scary red cresters. I mean, those guys are scary. Or just focus on supplies and getting back, and so you can stay out in sky for a longer time and try to get as many of the point that you can get in the game. And I think the most thrilling part of the game is getting those red cresters. The red cresters, they're kind of like these aggressive like bulls of the game, where you don't want to fight them right now. You want to fight the gray cresters right now. You don't want to go near them. So it's like there's a red crester there. Hopefully, I don't get hurt by that creature, because they do some damage in there. But once you build yourself up in there and you are able to get one and get points for it, it is quite satisfying. Anyway, moving on to negatives of the game. The first thing is the most luckiest part is probably the winds. The winds where direction goes, because if you're the first player, you're going to get the best advantage in the game of trying to getting those cresters first. And the other one is the naturalist of the game, the kind of like the variant player, where you don't kill the cresters, you're going to tag them, which I do kind of like. It is, for me, like the hard mode of the game. So if you're a more experienced player, it's hard mode in there. And it's also something I don't really enjoy, because if you get your cresters, I think if you get your cresters taken away or hard or processed, then you're going to lose points that way. But again, it's one of the games that's hard mode. It's something that I didn't really enjoy. And the biggest thing of the game is the downtime. Yes, there's a lot of downtime. You're only really getting two different actions in the game, plus some other ones. But the biggest one, especially when you're going to battle, and the battling is going to take quite a lot of time before it makes it around to your turn. So again, I think a game of maybe 3 players is good. I play games with 4 players, and it just takes a lot of time when it goes back to your turn. Alright, so that was my review of Windward, a game about hunting these sky whales. So I think I really want to give this a great review, a great rating review, but I have to drop it down to enjoyable. And that's because the rulebook just hurt it so much for me, for the ease of learning the game. And the game is not that bad. I enjoyed it. It's just trying to understand it was the hardest part in there. But I like just getting to the supplies. I like getting to even flowing with the wind and trying to get, because you get free movement with there, and you're trying to get to those cresters first. So that was the biggest hurt of the game, was the rules. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I'm Ferdinand the Cardboard Stacker. If you haven't done so, you can go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's right there, that big red button. Give this video a like. And we also have a Patreon. Go ahead and support the channel if you do wish so. Okay, so again, thank you so much. And remember to keep on stacking games.
This video has been brought to you by our sponsors on Patreon. Thanks for becoming a stacker and helping us keep this channel going. Visit our Patreon page to learn how you can too become a stacker. And thank you for watching. Come follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and check out our website, thecardboardstacker.com. I'm Ferdinand the Cardboard Stacker, reminding you to keep on stacking games.